everyone, my name is Kristin Hayes and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I'm going to show you how to make this cute little box today. Before we get started, I just want you to excuse my fingers. I got in a little bit of an argument with my Shaded Spruce ink pad and I believe it won. I have it everywhere, on my face, on my shirt, my fingers. It will eventually come off. But anyways, I decided I wanted to make a little box, or little bag rather, for gift cards. So you can see the gift card just slides right in there. And I looked along on Instagram and Pinterest, and I couldn't find what I wanted. So I started playing, and I used some older DSP, and I had one that was too big, too small, all different sizes, as you can see. And I finally came up with one I really like, and I thought I would share it with you. Let me just slide the card back out. So we're going to get started with a piece of DSP, and I'm using today the Under the Mistletoe DSP, and it's cut at 7.5 by 5.5. So we're going to start, let me just move these other boxes out of the way. We're going to start and score it. Now, you can use your scoring tool, any scoring tool you have, but I'm going to use the stamping trimmer today because it'll fit better into the camera screen. Just when you're using this, make sure you're going to use your scoring blade, not your cutting blade. I learned from experience. All right, so we're going to start it here, and on the longer edge or the horizontal edge, that's where we're going to start to score. And we're going to score, let me just get it in nice. We're going to score at 1 inch, 3.5 inches, 4.5 inches, and then 7 inches. All right, so then we're going to flip it. Whoops, sorry about the camera. And then we're going to score, now this is going to be your bottom of the box, and so we're going to score that at 1 inch, and I'm going 1 inch in from the bottom. And so then I'm just going to twist it. This will be your top, and we're going to score that at 3/4 of an inch. All right, there we go. And I don't press too hard when I'm scoring on DSP because it is a little bit thinner, and I have ripped it in the past if I'm too rough with it. So I'm not sure how well it's going to pick up all the scoring marks. Maybe this side will be a little bit easier to see. But we're going to cut out this small tab right here. I'm just going to flip it over because that's easier for me to cut on this side. And we're just going to go right up from the bottom to that 1 inch score line and then come in on that 3/4 inch score line. And that piece we do not need. So we have that tab there. So then we're going to make the rest of our tabs, and we're just going to come in from the bottom, cutting on that score line right up only until that 1 inch score line. Going to do it over here, and then we've got one last one to do here. Okay, so you can see you've got tabs now for the bottom. The first step we're going to do is we're going to fold this over at the top just to make a little bit of a decorative pattern on it, and just fold that over. You can use your bone folder if you want. I find you don't really need it. We're going to use tear tape, and we're going to start right in the corner on the top of what we would like to come down. And just be aware when you're using pattern paper of which side is up, which side is down. Now some patterns like this older style from older DSP, it wouldn't matter which side is up or down because the pattern goes either way. But with something like the ornaments, it does. So you just have to make sure you know where you're starting. So we're going to start and put the tear tape right in the corner and just go right along the whole top of this piece until we get to the end. And then you can either cut it or tear it. It tears really pretty easily. wanted to stay on my finger there, and I just press a little bit, get a corner, and it comes right off. Okay, so then we're just going to fold this down and press so it sticks, and that gives the top of our bag a little border. So the next step is I'm just going to come in and fold it all of our score lines here. I like to do the border first because that does need to be scored as well, folded as well, so it's all set in place. And then I'm just going to quickly do the bottom pieces as well. Okay, so now we're going to put the box together, put the bottom flat, and I'm just going to show you it comes over just like this before we pop it out. Now what I like to do is I want to put the tear tape here on the smaller tab and right at the edge. If you don't have it at the edge, it can kind of gap a little bit, gape. Not sure which way to say that actually. All right, just tear it again. Okay, so then we're going to just press on that again. Tear, nope, that didn't go all the way. There we go. Okay, so we're going to bring that, we've got that tab like this. We're going to bring our box over. And if you want to do it just to make sure that you're lining it up properly like this, that works as well. And you just, I hope that was in frame, and then you just press along the side and you have a seam in the back. So now we need a little bit of tear tape. With the seam here, I want to put my box together. These tabs just go in, and I want this seam to be on the same side as that seam. It's really not that big of a deal if it's not, but that's how I like to do it. So we've got that all folded in. We're just going to come back with the tear tape. I'm just going to cut it to give a cleaner edge. And we're going to just adhere it right along the bottom. I don't know why I'm having a trouble tearing it tonight, but I am, so we'll cut that up. There we go. A little bit more. Alrighty, whoop. Okay, so now once again I'm just going to press that with my fingernail and then take it up at a corner, and it should come right off. I'm working at a funny angle. Okay, there we go. So then we're just gonna make sure that that folds in nicely, and then we have our little box. So now we need to decorate it. So what I'm gonna use is the, I have it all set up. I'm gonna use the tags and trimming stamp. Now this, I love this, and I know I've used it before. This is actually, all these 16 tags are on one stamp. And you can use this, it's so cute as a background stamp, just the way it is, just to stamp it like this and finish your card. But we're going to use, I wanted the Christmas greetings, so we're going to stamp it together and then punch it out with our die cut on our Big Shot. So I have a piece of paper here. It's 5.5 by 6. You don't have to use the whole thing. If you really only want that one spot, you can just ink that spot up. But the die cut actually will cut them all out together in one shot. So even though I'm only using one of the stamps for this project, I'm able to cut them all out and use them for other things. So we're going to ink that up. We're just going to come in here, press a little bit, and then there you go. And this stamp Honestly, it gives such a nice crisp image almost every single time I use it. So I really love it. I've debated cutting them. I know some demonstrators I've seen have cut them into individual stamps. I just haven't been able to bring myself to do it, because at that point you can't use it as a background stamp anymore. Okay, so we're just going to use the magnetic platform on the Big Shot. Put a plastic pad down, and you can see I've got green all over me again. Oh my goodness. All right. Make sure it's not going to rub off on my tag. So then we're going to line these up. And the way I do it is I look at the ones that have more of a solid image around the whole thing to make sure I'm getting that all in, and then just take a little peek at the other ones and do a little adjusting if I need to. But that looks pretty good to me, so we'll put it on top and then we'll run it through. Maybe. Things are just not going my way tonight, but that's okay. We were going to make this project work. All right. Let me move that to the side. And then you can see we have 16 different tags. So put those aside. This is the one we're going to use tonight. Let me just get those off so I don't lose them. Put this aside. And now we need to finish up our box. So, bringing the box back in, I want to put some ribbon around the top. And so I'm going to just press in with my fingers and bend in just that top where the red is over, just to give it, to be able to scrunch it up a little bit. So I'm going to come in with my 1/8 inch handheld circle punch. And I don't want to punch through 4 layers here. I just want to punch at the end of that, coming in just a little bit. Oops, it does fit in. All right, so I'm just going to eyeball it, punch that out, and then we're going to do the same with the other side, trying to make it fairly even from the top of the bag. And that looks pretty good. So now with our ribbon, I'm using the 1/8 inch solid red ribbon, and we're going to start threading it through. Now, you're going to use about 14 inches of this ribbon, give or take an inch or two, but I like to leave it on the spool. And I'm going to see where my seam is. That's my seam, so I want that in the back. So we're just going to come through. Let me just trim this. It works best, or it's easiest, if you have that cut at an angle. It's just easier to thread. So we're going to thread that through here. Bear with me a minute. If I can get my fingers to work right. Here we go. Pull it through. Pull it through this side. Okay. Now this is where I'm going to thread in my tag. Oop. Alrighty. Came right back out. Alright, so that's my tag. We're going to just get a little more slack, come in one more time, and then now what we're going to do is I'm going to estimate how much more I need. Trim that. Let me just make a little bit more of an angle. There we go. And then bring this last piece through this hole right here. There we go. And then I'm going to just take the ends and make a little knot. So, make a knot. Did it go through? Let's try that one more time. Oh, maybe I should have filmed tomorrow night. Some nights, just things do not go your way. All right, there we go. That's going to come through this time. So you're just going to pull them through and make a little knot. And then I just trim off the ends. And then what you do with your handles is just adjust. It's a continuous loop now, so you can adjust it however you wanted it to be. And then we have our little tag here with the Christmas greetings, and you can write your to and from right on the back of that tag. So I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions. And if you're not already working with the Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love a chance to work with you. And all my links will be listed down below. Thanks so much for watching.